What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of JK Sports. Just wanted to do another video on the next batch of free agents. There's been a whole bunch of signings since the last video. Let's start off with Brian Bulaga staying in Green Bay. Green Bay was able to retain Randall Cobb and Brian Bulaga. That's a huge move for them. Not a lot of people thought they would be able to keep them, but I think they came at they got some hometown discounts. Revis, of course, re-signing, going back to the Jets after being traded to Tampa Bay, signing with New England, winning a Super Bowl, coming back, signing a 5-year, $70 million deal, $39 million of which is guaranteed. I actually don't have a big problem with the $39 million. I think that's fair, even despite Revis being 30 by the start of next season, because I think he'll have a long career like Champ Bailey or Charles Woodson, just because Revis can read the game so well. He can do everything extremely well, including tackling and, of course, coverage. And I think he would do really well at free safety. Not a problem once he gets up there in age. Jets were really active in free agency yesterday. They signed James Carpenter, which they desperately needed help at guard. They got Buster Skrine to play opposite of Revis, or possibly to cover the slot at that nickelback position, and I think he'll fit in real well, especially if the Jets get Cromartie opposite of him, or if Milliner can now grow with Revis. Let's see. They were able to retain Bilal Powell, which is an okay move for depth at the running back position, and they traded for Ryan Fitzpatrick, which I'm a big fan of quarterback competition. And they only gave up a 7th-round pick, which could escalate to a sixth at best. So, not a risky move even for the 32-year-old quarterback. His 3 years in Buffalo, he threw for 23 touchdowns. The first year, 24. The next 2 years, when he was under Shane Gailey, who's now the offensive coordinator for New York. So, of course, he threw a ton of picks, also, mind you, but the Jets throw tons of picks anyway, so if they can get some touchdowns on top of that, that's already a plus. Big trade. This one's hard. 4th-round pick, a 2nd-round pick next year, and Nick Foles to St. Louis for Sam Bradford and a 5th. Philadelphia really sending the house for Sam Bradford. I personally don't think he's a huge upgrade over Foles, if at all. But who am I to argue with Chip Kelly? I personally don't like the move for Philadelphia. Definitely like the move for St. Louis. Bradford can barely stay on the field, and then when he is, he's okay, I guess. And to stick with Philadelphia, they were able to sign Byron Maxwell to a 6-year, $63 million deal, 25 of which is guaranteed. If you look at it like 6 years, 63, you think, wow, that's absolutely insane for just a he's above average, but $25 million is a little palatable in today's NFL. You need corners. Houston trading Case Keenum to St. Louis. Nothing to speak about there, really. Shane Vereen going to the New York Giants. Now they're 3 deep at the running back position, which is Andre Williams and Rashad Jennings. That's very good running backs there. Haloti Ngata and a 7th being traded from Baltimore to Detroit for a 4th and a 5th. I like the move a lot if Detroit can get a long-term contract with Ngata, because then you replace Sue with a almost equal value there. Ngata and Sue, I don't see much of a difference there talent-wise. And then if you resign Nick Fairley, that's huge. Though you did have to give up a 4th and a 5th rather than pay up that enormous amount of money that Miami paid for Sue. Not criticizing the move. Sue is a big-time player that would have commanded a lot of money anywhere he went. Next, another huge move. Seattle making a power move, trading for Jimmy Graham. That's New Orleans sends Jimmy Graham and a 4th to Seattle for Max Unger and a 1st. Hardly ever see players being traded for 1st-round picks, but Jimmy Graham is obviously one of the few players who would definitely deserve it. It seems like New Orleans is stepping away maybe from the heavy passing offense, that high-octane offense they've got, and maybe going towards a running game, more run central offense with now Max Unger in the mix, and they re-signed Mark Ingram, and they're having C.J. Spiller over. Who knows what they can do there? Maybe have a lighter load for the 36-year-old Drew Brees, which may be the smart move in the long run. Outside of that, Indianapolis. I've absolutely loved what Indianapolis has done in the offseason. Got Frank Gore, they got Trent Cole, they got Andre Johnson. Frank Gore and his buddy from the U, Andre Johnson, going to team up with Andrew Luck. I think Andre Johnson's going to put up some good numbers alongside T.Y. Hilton. Frank Gore obviously should walk into that starting running back position. Boom Herron did okay in the later part of the season, but I mean Frank Gore has been the epitome of consistency in San Francisco. I think he's going to do real well in that offense. Trent Cole, a big-time pass rusher. I think Indianapolis did well to fill up some holes there. Kansas City, if you remember, I told you they needed some safety help badly, and they were able to get it into Von Branch. I don't know, no idea on what the contract looks like. Julius Thomas, huge deal, Jacksonville. I love this move for Jacksonville. They need to get Blake Bortles some weapons. He's got some young wide receivers to grow with. I love Allen Robinson and Marquise Lee and Allen Hurns. They have a great young receiving core, and now to pair them up with the huge tight end, it's a good move. Outside of that, New England getting Jabal Shirt. I think he's going to do real well there. And he's a real underrated signing right there. And then just recently, Antrell Roll is joining the Chicago Bears, and going with him is Eddie Royal. I think that's a real good move. I think Eddie Royal is a pretty underrated wide receiver. He's bouncing from team to team. Well, three that I can count off the top of my head. But they needed someone to fill in that role since they traded Brandon Marshall. Obviously, they are two completely different wide receivers, but they needed someone to slot opposite of Alshon Jeffrey, and I think the two will complement each other really well. And this move I'm a huge fan of. Clint Bowling going to Cincinnati for 5 years, $26 million deal. That alone is cheap. $5 million is guaranteed. That is a huge steal for Cincinnati. They got, in my opinion, the second best guard in free agency at a very low rate. Yeah, let me know if you were a fan of any of these moves, if there's anyone else I'm missing. I was trying to hold off this video for the longest to see where DeMarco Murray would sign, but then he came out he's going to be visiting Philadelphia tomorrow. So we'll see if he signs there. That would be huge. Chip Kelly really making that team his own. There's no more Andy Reid guys there. So yeah, so like and subscribe if you want, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.